Hi guys, gals. I'm gonna pass all my friends and folks out there. Now please excuse if things may drop, because one, I'm gonna be full and close. Two, also I have my pen that I use to draw on my tablet under my phone for the moment. So if that falls or moves around, please just excuse that. Anyway, this is just gonna be a little Hope Love show, I guess. Maybe slash consult with me, I don't know. Just kind of explaining everything that's going on, because we just got back in the school year, and for us, I know it is a little confusing, and I mean like really confusing, but we'll get through it. Mainly what I'm here to tell you is that I'm going to be uploading every 2 weeks now, just from the way that things have been going. You know, that's how it's gonna be for like now on, really. It's just because Klance Theater Au takes so much time to produce, and because I'm probably going to extend some of my other videos out next week, because I'll start feeling comfortable with it again, and of course podcasting, because I need to go back to doing that, and I haven't done it in a hot minute in a while, especially just because, okay, we're getting back into school and I just still need to figure things out. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have no idea how things are really gonna work. Okay, somebody just airdropped me, so you know. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to doing that. I don't know how things are going to exactly unfold, really, because, well, yeah, the school year's back now, and I'm back in school, but I can definitely tell you for sure that I'm just gonna start with referring to my older or other schedules that I had in the past, and what I'm really gonna do is break it down to being like, okay, well, we were doing 3 per week, so I think it's again going to be 1 reading, 1, you know, HopeLovestalks or come sit with me, and then there's always going to be 1, you know, Klance Theater Au. And that really just helps things a lot, because when I do that, it just balances out the production time to make Klance Theater Au, along with the runtime. I produce a lot of other content too, so you should probably check that out if you haven't. If you don't know, I do have 2 Klance fanfics, well 3 actually, but there's this series that I'm working on. The first one is Unseen, the second one is Focus, and I'm working on that one still, Focus. And then I plan to do one last book, which should be Legacy, in that series. When it comes to working on Focus, for y'all who have been here long enough, or for the ones you've come from like Wattpad and stuff, all of you know that I don't have a schedule for that really. The whole entire idea is just write the chapter. When the chapter's done, post about it, you go and read it, and I start working on the next chapter. And when we get into this chapter, if you've read Unseen and then you've started reading Focus, yes, you have to read both. No, this will not be a total spoiler alert. For this chapter and the upcoming chapters, if you've read those books, and if you've gone to that chapter, the whole entire idea of this chapter is to be like late night fades into early morning. So if you made it to that chapter, that's the whole entire idea of it. Late night literally fades into early morning, except this chapter is going to be late night, and then it turns into early morning, and then we get to the next chapter, which will be technically the next day, but it came straight from the second chapter, basically. Well, the first chapter that you read. So, no, I don't really think, if you were thinking the moral concept, it's probably not like that. It's just the time concept of how it passes. It's going to be late night, it's going to be early morning, 3 a.m., and then it's going to be like 4 a.m., and then we get to see them at 6 o'clock-ish in the next chapter, which will start off the next morning. You have the whole entirety of the day, basically. And I think I'm going to run it for the chapters coming up like that too, I may not, but if I do, I will. And I probably, you might get told, you might not get told. It's not one of those things where it's like, I make an announcement, because y'all know how I am. It's just basically like, the story's the story, the chapter's the chapter, so that is a little heads up. And yeah, if you're looking for it, that's great. But no, the new chapter is not out yet because I still have a lot more to do on it. Honestly, I got up to a pretty high number and I was like, this will not be enough. So I'm pretty sure I'm just like gonna go through and finish up the storyline for this chapter and then get into the next day. And just have it be this continuous flow of things because, yeah. Especially because I will tell you no spoilers. Well, yeah. But if you don't want anything that'll give out too much information, you could just, skip over this part. I might put in timestamps if I don't. But, or just like go in the link. Just go to the description, go to the link below and read them. But, really, this whole entire chapter goes back into the essentials that we've kind of been missing in the story so lately just because so much is happening. And I feel like the characters are missing these essentials too because so much is happening. And as a reader and a writer and a person just like genuinely interacting with it, I can say the same. We're not really paying attention or focusing on those small, minor little details like we used to just because a lot is happening and we need the day to focus on other things. And as people, humans, and as other things and really just beings out there, we always kind of tend to, focus in on what we need to know and what we know. And we don't make the extra effort to see what everybody is wearing. Like, we don't look at everybody's clothes and be like, oh, they're wearing this, that, and the other. And a strong detail, Okay, day-to-day, normal, everyday life. Okay, sure. But nobody lives a perfect day-to-day, everyday life. Everybody gets stressed. Everybody's under pressure. Okay, heck, you're not going to remember what your friend was wearing yesterday. Unless you're having, like, a flashbulb memory. You're not going to remember that. It's not important to you. It's legitimately, like, not important to you. So, yeah. The descriptiveness is going to probably go back up again to a higher level, but the whole entire gist of it is just kind of like, kind of came crashing down and tumbling in so many weird ways and directions, because all of this happened to the team. They kind of just, yes, this is going to be a spoiler, which means you should just go and read it, because honestly, you should just read it. Seriously, I'll give you a minute, but... Okay, if you haven't gone, you are a brave soul. Honestly, I tell you, past me would be very mad about a spoiler. So, anyway, and I mean past me because I already know what's gonna happen, but, but you know, as we know, the team just thought that they were going on a regular routine mission, and it wasn't even a routine mission because we had so many missions, because Spaceball isn't really like the Galra in that way. It's not a domestic threat as much as it is a whole entire threat on the universe, which could be foreign but could also be domestic. But unlike the Galra, they're not going to do civil wrongs or civil rights or ethically doing things that are wrong or right. They're doing things that are morally wrong, with tampering with the universe, and ethically speaking, it's also wrong to do it because it will destroy the world. But in ethics, you also have to look at the outcome with the numbers. So it's more of a moral situation, and they're not hunting down people in a way that Voltron sees it. So, of course, they're not going on as many missions as you would usually think. So when they get the report, when they're going to like, oh, we have to go and kill some of the top fighters. So then when we do finally find the secret weapon and the space, the space station, we'll be able to take them out and down pretty simply. That was the whole entire precipice of going. That was the plan. That was it. They didn't see it as anything else. They didn't know anything else. That was what was going on. And, everybody kind of thought, okay, it's going to be pretty anticlimactic for us because, well, yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild, like any space fight. But this isn't the code we're talking about. And we're only here to kill off a couple of really good pilots. Which, yeah, can be hard, but still. They weren't expecting to complete the mission and then have their lines run out of quintessential energy and then be stranded. They didn't expect any of that. They didn't expect Pidge to be stolen or captured, really. They didn't expect getting stuck in the woods or /forest, really. They didn't expect getting stuck in the forest. Okay. So anyway, Lance expected it, Lance wanted it, and Lance needed it. Okay. Pidge found out and she was like, okay, whatever. Hunk was like, yeah, we've been planning this maybe, so yeah. But when we think about the other two paladins in this situation, when we think about, everybody else too, when we think about Keith and Allura, they were like, whoa, we were not supposed to end up in the forest. And even though Hunk and Pidge, and even Lance knew, everybody still has their own struggle. Everybody's still struggling. of course, the whole entire base of this storyline and arc is that everybody's been put into this new situation, this new way of being with these new rules and these new routines. But, soon after they've gotten all close with each other, the fear is going to be going back to normal life, really. It's going back to what they would call their reality. And because life is life and books are part of life too, and it's not really to imitate life, but to give life and to show and mirror your own life, it kind of just shows that, as another year ends and as certain things start to die down and you start to change as a person and other experiences are, ending for new beginnings, to be quite clear, there's always going to be this nervousness to go back to what you were doing before. And you think that you're going to do that because you're going back to the same place as before. But really, you're not. All of the paladins, once they finally found out that, they got stranded, were kind of like freaking out. All of them wanted them to get back. All of them wanted everybody to be safe. Everybody wanted to be okay. But they were also looking for the change in their life that they needed. This whole entire experience has allowed everybody to get closer to everybody again, and to realize that the actual problem that they've been having throughout this whole entire fight is communication. They don't feel safe to communicate their ideas to their community. They feel like there's this separation and division between all of them, but also between these ranks of who's older and who's not older, And I think it's kind of strange because all of the paladins have to start looking at each other as just paladins. They have to stop looking at each other as these great kings or queens or ladies or people who have, fought off giant beast, or rubies. They have to stop thinking of people as younger or older or more intelligent than them and just as friends who they kick ass with, basically, and they fight the whole entire universe as. And I think because they have to do that and they have to get rid of that point of view where they're always looking at things with rank and status and basically social hierarchy, to recreate their social hierarchy in a way to make sure it really accepts everybody and protects everyone. That's a really hard thing to do. I mean, I guess. I don't know. It's hard working on a team when you have seasoned athletes and you have complete newbies, and the noobs want to learn everything, right? And they want to be helpful as ever. But some of the older athletes get annoyed because they don't know things and they just want things to go quicker. And some people are trying to help out. And I think because there's such a discourse between that, and there's not really one clear way to do and to have things be done, everybody's at each other's throats. They're fighting, and they're fighting, and they're fighting. And you can never really become a team that way. It's not gonna work. And it just makes things worse and worse. Trust me, it does, I know. But the fact that they have to get over all of that, and not really over all of that, but learn how to move forward with their lives after it, and learn how to accept that not only that this stuff happened, but that they need to make it better, and that they also may have been wrong, which nobody likes to be wrong because, oh my god, I made a mistake, and that really freaks people out, but it's not really their fault. Nobody's really a bad guy, nobody's really evil, no one's really truly a villain, here. The whole entire thing is it's just it's a bunch of mixed emotions and a bunch of different points of views. And you have to understand that. Everybody has their different point of view. Everybody sees things differently, and they see those things based off of their life experiences. And then the whole entire idea, I guess, of coming back to the castle of lions after this and not scaring pretty much all of the paladins is because they're scared that, well, things are going to go back to quote-unquote normal. We might never be as close as we were here. But towards, the ends of all of the chapters, we get to see them mature in a way where they know that it's okay we're going back to the castle, because the whole entire point of this experience is not to be this one moment where we all sing Kumbaya together and go back to what we were all doing, but this one moment that we become closer than we were. It's not the moment that we realized that we were wrong. It's the moment that we started mending what we kept breaking, what has always been broken, and then we keep it mended and we make our bond stronger by returning home and fixing things. And it's not even fixing things, it's changing things so then they fit with, the moral personality of the whole entire team or the whole entire group of people now. Like when you get older and you mature. That's the whole entire thing. You don't have, the same rainbows and kittens, I guess, in your room forever. You probably have rainbow and kittens still because you like them, but they may be a little different. Or they could be the same because they never were a problem for you. But it's that whole entire thing. And it's really an experience of a break in this whole entire civil discourse that's left them very unrested. So then they can realize that the only mistake that they were making was making these divisions again, hoping that they could all communicate, and especially communicate with Klance. So while nobody really knows how it's exactly going to work when they get back to the castle, because they have to all talk it through and figure out what they're gonna do from now on. Once they're all together again and they vote on it, they vote on it. They choose what they choose, and in all honesty, I don't think we're gonna see the paladins split up again. I really just don't see this amazing group of people all coming together and not really being humbled, but just learning the lesson that if you keep your eyes open instead of blinking quicker, you'll always win at the end of the day. This isn't some fast running game. This is a staring competition. And you have to understand how to stare, You have to understand that you're not really even trying to get the other side to wave the right flag, and just in the whole entire disarray of wars and fighting. What you really need to be doing is outlasting the other team, and you can't just try and get them to fib up once so then they lose, because if they lose and they only fibbed up once, don't you think they're gonna come back again? So yeah, that's basically all my thoughts on the upcoming chapter. It's interesting. Honestly, I really love this series, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Definitely, because I know it's far from over yet, and I feel like this series is gonna take us to some pretty wild, crazy, exciting places, and that, you know, time works differently up in space as it does on different planets and in different worlds, really. Because what I see is not what you always see, and what I always see is not what you always see. But I know I'm really gonna enjoy the journey of seeing through this whole entire series of, you know, really just the colors of love. And yeah, that may be the next chapter's name, but the whole entire series of colors is gonna be good. And I'm just really stoked and excited that you're gonna be with me for this amazing journey. So yeah, that's my update on life, pretty much. And because I talked to you about that, I really know what I'm doing now. Because trust me, I was not lost in my story, but when we talk about real life and getting, you know, things done, like Klance Theater Au, I'm not gonna lie, it can be a lot. But otherwise than that, I think life's good, and we're gonna be figuring it out. Yeah, thanks for helping me put up my clothes and figure out my life. As my daily existential crisis basically helps me come back to the world again. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for that, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Peace, love, happiness. Don't forget to check us on our socials and our outreaches, and I'll see you. It's been another Upload show.